Fine, so here we have question 1a. This is 12 times a divided by 3, so that's going to equal 4a. It's no problem. Here we have 5k over 15k squared. Now the only problem here that you may have is that you may forget to put the 1. So 5 goes into 15 3 times, 5 goes into 5 once. And here this is k squared, so it's a k times k, so one of those k's. And you're left with 1 over 3k. And the thing is that you may forget to leave out this 1 and just write 3k. But remember, it's still the 3k is in the denominator. With this one over here, you've got to be careful that the 3 is raising all of those. So this is actually 3t squared times 3t squared times 3t squared. That's what that means, over 9t to the 4. So when I multiply this out, 3 times 3 times 3 is actually 27. T squared times t squared times t squared is t to the 6 over 9t to the 4. And that's actually going to be 9 goes into 9 once, and 9 goes into 27 3 times. Here you've got t to the 6 divided by t to the 4, which is 6 minus 4. It's going to be 3t squared, will be your final answer. Looking at this one over here, now the big mistake that people make is they just say this and that is equal to y. Now that is wrong, and the reason being why that is wrong is because this 2 is dividing into both the y and the 2. So there's not much you can do with this. You can just leave it as it is, or you could, if you wanted, you could write this y over 2 plus 1, because now you're dividing the 2 into the y, that's here, and then the 2 into the 2 is there, is the 1. So you could write it like that, but if you just left it like that, that would be fine. Here again, making sure that you divide this 4 into both this one and into that one. So it's going to be a minus 2. And here the same thing. Here you're going to divide both this one over here. Well, let's do it like this. Let's factorize first. And we can take out a 7. And we're left with p plus 3 divided by 14. And now you can divide that 7 and the 14. That goes to 2, so it's p plus 3 over 2. Alright, good. So going down to question 3 and question 4. So we simplify here. Because this is 4 times that, we can just cancel it out and we're left with 4. Here again, we can cancel m plus 3 and m plus 3, but remember we're left with a 1 over 4 here. And here we've got a c minus 1 squared c plus 3. Now I'm just going to write this in full, like that. That's what you've actually got, divided by c minus 1, c plus 2. And now a c minus 1 can cancel, and you're left with c minus 1 c plus 3 over c plus 2. Here we're looking at factorizing, and the first thing that whenever we try and factorize, we always look for a common factor. And in this case, we can see that we've got a 6, and you're left with an x minus 2. Factorization is the putting in of brackets. So we take out a 6, and we're left with x minus 2. Here again, I see that I've got something common in both of those. I can take out a 2x squared, and I'm left with 2x minus 1. That's right, so 2x, you can always check and see if you multiply it out, will you get what you've got. So 2x squared times 2x is equal to 4x cubed, and 2x times negative 1, negative 2x. Here also, I can take out a 5 out of both of them, and I can take out an a squared out of both of them, and I can take out a b. That's the most I can take out, and I'm left with 3a squared b squared plus 2 plus 2. That right? Yes, that looks fine. Okay, so it's important that you take out the most, because you could have just taken out an a squared plus b and left out the 5, but you must take out the largest common factor. Fine, going down now to this one over here. Alright, so again we always check if we've got something common. Now when we don't have anything common in both, so I can't take out a common factor. But when you've got two terms and you've got a negative sign, then think of the difference of two squares. Now, p squared you can write as p times p, and 9 you can write as 3 times 3. So this will be p minus 3, p plus 3. With this one over here, again, you've got your two terms again, and you've got your negative sign, difference of two squares. 4a squared, I'll just do this just to help you. So you can write that as 2a times 2a, and 25 you can write as 5 times 5. So it's a difference of two squares. So you can therefore write this as 2a minus 5, 2a plus 5. And the same with this one over here. 36c squared you can write as 6c times 6c. That gives you 36c squared. And 49d squared you can write as, not 4, 7d times 7d. That gives you 49d squared. So, and this gives you 36c squared. So you can write this as 6c minus 7c, 6c minus 7d, 6c plus 7d, like that. Okay, going down to these over here, let me just bring them up so it's easier to see for me. Here we've got three terms. Now, when you have three terms, we're talking about a trinomial. So you actually want to get it something like this. So we've got three terms. And in doing so, when there is a 1, in front of the x squared, so if there's nothing in front of the x squared, it's a 1, we assume it's a 1, you look for two numbers that multiply to equal 4 and add up to equal 5. I'm going to use the symbols r and s. R times s is equal to 4, and r plus s is equal to 5. Obviously that's 4 and 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So then you just write it. It's pretty straightforward after that. You can always check it again by multiplying out. If you multiply this out using our FOIL method, we should get back to our original equation. Similar here, we're going to look for two numbers that multiply together to equal negative 10 and add together to equal negative 3. That would be negative 5 and plus 2. X minus 5, x plus 2. Minus 5 times 2 is equal to negative 10. Minus 5 plus 2 is equal to negative 3. And again here, same thing. That's going to be t. Two numbers multiply together to equal negative 16, add together to equal negative 6. That will be 2 and negative 8. But it's plus 2, so it's minus 8 times 2 gives you a negative 16, and minus 8 plus 2 gives you your negative 6. Now, these trinomials over here are a little bit more difficult because you haven't got a 1 in front of the x squared, but you've got a number bigger than 1 or different than 1, so it's 2. Now, you do something quite similar. There's a procedure which I've shown you before, which I'll go through in each of these cases, and you can decide you can use this method. So what we do is we write this out, 2x squared minus 3, and we leave that center term out. And basically what we do is we multiply the 2 times the negative 3. We take this, and we multiply. So 2 times negative 3 is equal to negative 6. And then we look at, as before, we look at two numbers, r times s, which equals negative 6, and r plus s, which is equal to 5, as we did before. And obviously that is going to be negative 6, well, actually plus 6 times negative 1. That will give me my negative 6, and when I add 6 plus negative 1, I get my 5. But now what we have to do with this is that we write this now as plus 6x minus x minus 3. Now, as you can see, I haven't actually changed this at all. This negative 6, this 6 minus x is actually equal to 5x, so there's no change. But what I can do now is I can use grouping to factorize it further. So in this first one over here, I see that I've got a 2x that I can take out, and I'm left with x plus 3. And here I can take out a negative 1, and I'm left with an x plus 3. So then finally I've got an x plus 3. X plus 3 is common, so I take out an x plus 3, and I'm left with 2x minus 1. Like that. So we've got to do the same thing in each of these. I'll do this one over here. 4x squared minus 5x minus 6. So I multiply the 4 times the negative 6, I get negative 24. I look for two numbers that multiply together to equal negative 4 and two numbers that add together to equal negative 5. That one over there. What would that be? Well, that's going to probably be 8 times negative 3. And 8 plus negative 3 is equal to negative 5. And 8 times negative 3 is equal to negative 24. So then I rewrite this. I say 4x squared plus 8x. Sorry, not plus 8x. It's must be negative. Sorry, slight mistake here. Let me just redo this. It's not going to be. It's going to be negative 8 plus 3 because I want a negative 5 here. So that's going to be negative 8 and plus 3 there. So let me just redo this here. Sorry. So it's going to be 4x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 6. And so I can take out of this, I can take out a 4x, and I'm left with x minus 2, plus, and here I can take out a 3, and I'm left with x minus 2, and here I've got this is common, as it always works out, so I've got 4x plus 3 times the thing that's common minus 2, like that. Okay, and then let me do the last one. I'll do the last one over here. Small thing to erase. Okay, so here we go. I've got 10x squared plus 11x minus 6. So I multiply 10 times the negative 6, I get negative 60. I look for my r times my s is equal to negative 60, and this r plus s is equal to 11. So we need two numbers that multiply to equal negative 60 and add together to equal negative 11. So what numbers would that be? We can have 6 times 10 wouldn't work, 30 times 2, 15 times 4. 15 times 4 is equal to 60. Now we need a positive here, so you're going to get 15 times negative 4 is equal to negative 60, and 15 plus negative 4 is equal to 11. So we're going to rewrite this. 10x squared plus 15x minus 4x minus 6. Here I can see that a 5 can come out, a 5x can come out. I'm left with 2x plus 3, and here a minus 2 can come out, and I'm left with 2x minus 3 again. 2x plus 3 is common. There should be a plus there. 2x plus 3 is common, and then you've got a 5x minus 2. Alright, so those are a little bit complicated, but if you follow the steps, it isn't too bad.